Chapter 2. The Ancient Sea. June 14th. Great Qing Kingdom. Within Tiger Prison Pass, ancient Twin Town. There was a mansion in the town and ancient mansion, the interior of the ancient mansion, along with surrounding streets, were filled with banquets, and there was an endless stream of queues. It was very lively, but just now, a group of people in mourning clothes came, and the original clamor came to an abrupt end. A large number of troops guarded the four directions, causing the originally festive scene to be instantly filled with an aura of solemnity, followed by the civil and military officials. How can that be? It's true. It's really the Crown Prince. Why is the Crown Prince wearing a mourning suit? It can't be. The guests on the street immediately revealed looks of horror. There was only one time when the Crown Prince wore mourning clothes, and that was when the current emperor had collapsed. Wasn't the current emperor on the front line of the imperial expedition? And I heard that he had won many battles in a row. The crowd revealed a look of horror. Obviously the news coming in was too lagging behind. Ancient mansion. The guests are all in the front yard and the streets for the banquet, while in the backyard of the ancient mansion, it is quite quiet. A 7-story tower in the backyard. For the ancient mansion, or even the highest building in the whole town, standing on top of the tower, look down on everything in the town. The name of the Tower of the Sky. Under the tower stood a large number of solemn people of the ancient mansion, looking at a group of civil and military officials, wearing mourning clothes, along with Prince Chen, kneeling under the tower. Each and every one of them had a look of grief on their faces. There was only one person who accompanied him who did not kneel, and that was Chen Taiji's third grandfather, the white-robed man from that clan. Nephew Chen Liangyi begs to see Uncle Gu. Begs Uncle Gu to avenge his father's death. Crown Prince Chen Liangyi said with grief on his face. The Chen kingdom was about to be destroyed. How long could he sit as the Crown Prince? Once the Chen kingdom was destroyed, he himself would even be moved by the Immortal sect's wrath, and would live or die. Father said that this person could save the day, and is also father's sworn brother, as long as he can save the Chen kingdom, not to mention kneeling. Even if he kneels for 3 days and 3 nights, Chen Liangyi will not frown. The people of the ancient mansion, many of the household servants were wide-eyed. This is the current Crown Prince, and this is the civil and military officials. How is this possible? Just to seek an audience with his lordship. Gu Hai, I am Chen Chongqing of the King sect. Do you still remember? But, standing outside of the sky-rushing tower, all the people of the ancient mansion, up to him in general, Grand Duke, how about? A house servant seemed to have something to say. The green-shirted middle-aged man looked over with cold eyes, a look that instantly scared that family servant to shut his mouth. The prestige of the ancient mansion could not be provoked. The green-shirted Grand Duke ignored the crowd's pleas for an audience, and instead patiently stood guard outside the sky-rushing tower. Uncle Gu. It was father before his death that asked my nephew to come and beg Uncle Gu, and also asked me to say sorry to you on behalf of father. It was father who was sorry to you back then. Chen Liangyi cried in the middle of trembling. Alas, tilde. Inside the sky-rushing tower, a distant sighing sound came from within. Everyone's complexion moved. An old voice could be heard once again, coming from within the heaven-punching tower. Immortal Master Chen has arrived. The old man has been slow. Gu Qin, have Immortal Master Chen come up to the tower, and also have Chen Liangyi come up. The Grand Duke Gu Qin, who was guarding the entrance of the tower, immediately looked solemn and said, "Yes, righteous father." Kwong. Gu Qin pushed open the door of the tower and said to Chen Chongqing, "Immortal Master Chen has been slow. My father has not seen a guest for a long time. I have taken much offense this time. Please come inside." Chen Chongqing nodded. "Prince Chen, inside please," Gu Qin solemnly said. Chen Liangyi, however, immediately climbed up with a hint of excitement. Gu Qin led Chen Chongqing and Chen Liangyi to step into the sky-rushing tower. Quang, the tower door closed up once again. Outside, the civil and military officials looked at the pagoda with curiosity. The tower had 7 floors, and the duo found that each floor was full of shelves filled with countless books, all the way to the 6th layer. Chen Chongqun and Chen Liangyi finally saw the ancient sea. The board was filled with chess pieces, and it was impossible to see the layout of the board. Chessboard aside, stood a black-clothed old man, about 70 years old, also appearance, hair snow white piece, face is extremely serious, although there are some wrinkles, but a pair of eyes is incomparable crystal bright, that pair of eyes, as if through the heart of the general, so that the Chen Tiyi heart palpitation. This was the richest man in the 6 countries. Gu Hai, you are Gu Hai. No, you are not Gu Hai. Your eyebrows. Chen Changchun's eyes glared. The old man, however, smiled faintly and said, Immortal Master Chen, do you remember the plea under that waterfall? The old man is indeed Gu Hai. It's just that he renewed his mustache and painted his eyebrows at first to avoid unnecessary trouble. Chen Chongqun took a closer look. Indeed, he was Gu Hai. It was just that the parts he remembered the most from back then were actually fake. The person was still the same person, and the facial alterations were not too big. But if Gu Hai didn't decrypt it, Chen Chongqun would never have thought that he was the Gu Hai that he had once seen. Uncle Gu, my father is dead. He said that you are his sworn brother. I implore Uncle Gu, on account of sworn brotherhood, to avenge my father. Chen Liangyi knelt down once again. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at Chen Liangyi. And after a moment of silence, he said, Back then, I did sworn brotherhood with him. But back then, he also wanted to put me to death, and brotherhood doesn't count anymore. Ah, Chen Liangyi's face stiffened. Chen Chongqun frowned slightly. Wanting to block Song's 800,000 tiger and wolf troops. Do you guys think it's possible? What? Gao Xianzi killed 600,000 troops. That's a captive? Chen Liangyi exclaimed. Just 4 days ago at noon, Gu Hai said indifferently. You? How do you know? Chen Liangyi exclaimed. Gu Hai, however, did not speak. On the side, Grand Duke Gu Qin was serving on the side, respectfully pouring a cup of tea for Gu Hai before pouring another cup for Chen Chongqun. Gu Hai faintly signaled Chen Chongqun and sat down himself. Chen Chongqun took a look at Gu Hai, a strange look in his eyes. Normally when mortals see themselves in this immortal sect, they all respect them as immortals, but Gu Hai was actually so bland. Chen Taiji said that you can. Chen Chongqun sat down and said in a deep voice. Gu Hai picked up the tea and took a sip. The mountains and rivers are shattered. It will only take half a month for Gao Xianzi's army to drive down and arrive at the tiger prison. Pass. Chen Chongqun and Chen Liangyi's faces changed. This was not Gu Hai's alarmist talk, but something very possible. Uncle Gu, please come out to save Chen. As long as you save Chen, you can do whatever you want. Chen Liangyi shouted at once. I think with your strength, it is not difficult to take a general's head amongst 10,000 troops. Moreover, the secular country controlled by your immortal sect is not only this great Chen. Gu Hai's complexion instantly twitched as a bright light flashed in his eyes. Although it was only 3 words, but Gu Hai instantly heard out a lot of information, and was as if he saw a heavenly opportunity, so much so that a ripple suddenly appeared in his ancient and unperturbed heart, pressing down that ripple. Gu Hai took a sip of tea. Chen Kingdom is hopeless. I just came to ask at last. If you can't, then that's it. Chen Chongqun said in a deep voice. Gu Hai didn't say anything, but looked at Chen Chongqun and Chen Liangyi. After a while, Gu Hai solemnly said, Save Chen, you can, but you can save Chen. How can you save it? Chen Chongqun revealed a hint of surprise. I have a condition. Gu Hai didn't explain, just solemnly said. Oh. Chen Chongqun looked towards Gu Hai. Uncle Gu, whatever you want, as long as I have it, I can give it to you. Chen Liangyi also climbed up and said in surprise. You've reached Haoshan perfection. Chen Chonchen immediately stood up in shock. Gu Hai nodded solemnly. Impossible. This root bone of yours. I have seen it back then. You can't cultivate internal gongs at all. You only start cultivating after the age of 30, with such a poor root bone. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Chen Chonchen stared at Gu Hai, a moment of disbelief in his eyes. Outer power. How ridiculous. External gong can also be cultivated to Haoshan realm perfection. That crude cultivation method, completely relying on self-mutilation to be able to do so. Even if one exhausts one's full potential, it's impossible to exceed the 5th level of the Haoshan realm or. It's never been done before. Gu Hai had actually reached Haoshan realm perfection. I only have this one request. How? Gu Hai stared at Chen Chonchen, and there was a hint of anticipation in his eyes. You save Chen first. I'll talk to the patriarch, Chen Chonchen said in a deep voice. Gu Hai, however, smiled faintly and shook his head, without speaking either. He looked at Chen Chonchen. The patriarch isn't even here. How can I help the patriarch agree? You save Chen Gu first. I'll go report to patriarch, Chen Chonchen said in a deep voice. Gu Hai stared at Chen Chonchen and said in a resolute tone, half a month. How many things will happen in half a month? After half a month, the Tiger Prison Pass might be broken up. What will you take to save Chen at that time? Moreover, in half a month, Song's 800,000 tiger and wolf army will be at the city. With just this 100,000 inferior troops, how will you resist? Chen Chonchen frowned in displeasure. Half a month, don't worry. It can't be dispersed. How to resist? That's my business. The sooner you return, the sooner Chen Kingdom is out of danger. A hint of determination appeared in Gu Hai's eyes and said, without getting a promise, Gu Hai would never take this risk. Gu Hai sent off the guests and said, yes. Chen Liangyi nodded. Chen Chonchen stared at Gu Hai for a while. I'll go back to the clan right away and ask for the patriarch's decree. I hope what you said is true. Otherwise, humph, twisting his head, Chen Chonchen quickly left with Chen Liangyi. On the side, Gu Qin looked at Gu Hai and frowned slightly. Righteous father, Chen Gu this time, near to no solution or. How can we save Chen or? Will. Cross into the innate realm. I can become young, back to the prime of life. I'm only this close. I have to become young. So, even the greatest of difficulties, I must dismantle it. Yes, Gu Qin nodded with some worry. I'll contemplate some countermeasures. Don't disturb me. Go down, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Righteous father, today is your big birthday. Do you want to? There's no need. Just now I've already received the best birthday gift. Go. Gu Hai waved his hand. Gu Qin nodded and retreated. Gu Hai leaned against the window and watched the army below withdraw, playing with a black go piece in his hand. His brows locked deeply. On my 30th birthday. How do you want me to penetrate you? Gu Hai sighed slightly and probed his hand to place the black chess piece at the center of his brow. Buzz. The black chess piece actually strangely penetrated the skin and drilled into Gu Hai's brow center.